All right, let's dive right into something that's, well, kind of fundamental to how we experience life. How much of what you see as reality is actually just a story that you, yourself, are telling. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the powerful and often totally invisible narratives our minds create for us.
So, let me ask you something straight up. In the movie of your life, who do you usually play? Think about the last time something didn't go your way. Were you the hero, bravely facing down challenges? Or were you maybe the victim, kind of stuck dealing with unfair circumstances? The real answer, well, it's a lot more complicated than it seems.
And that's where things get interesting, because it all starts with our own perspective. See, we walk around thinking we're seeing the world exactly as it is. But what we're really seeing is a story, a very specific story our brain is cooked up to make sense of everything, with us, of course, as the main character.
Okay, so let's really break this down. Your mind is basically a storyteller. But here's the catch. It's not an objective journalist. Its number one job is to be your personal bodyguard. So it carefully picks and chooses facts, maybe buries a few others, and weaves them all into a story that's designed to keep your ego safe and sound. Its job is survival, not to be a perfect reporter of the facts. So, how exactly does this storyteller pull it off? Well, it's got a whole toolkit of predictable psychological tricks. You might know them as cognitive biases. And they're all designed to shift blame and protect our self-image. It's time to talk about the mind's blame game. First up is an absolute classic, the self-serving bias. You ever notice how when things go right, it's all you, your brilliant work, your talent? But when they go wrong, well, suddenly it's not your fault. That is this bias in action, right there. It's our brain's default setting to take all the credit and dish out all the blame. And here's a perfect everyday example. On one side, you have success. I aced the test. I'm a genius. See that? The credit is all internal. But look at the other side. Failure. The professor made the test too hard. Bam! The blame is immediately shot outwards. And this isn't just about making excuses. It's a mental shortcut our brain takes to protect our self-esteem. We all do it, and we usually don't even realize it's happening.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Recent research shows how deep this bias goes. It's not just about acing a test, it's about our sense of morality itself. We tend to believe that whatever positive traits we happen to have are, conveniently, the most morally important traits for anyone to have. It's a subtle way of rigging the moral rulebook in our own favor, so we always come out looking good. Okay, next up is a trickier one. It's called the just world belief. This is that deep-down need many of us have to believe that the world makes sense, that good things happen to good people, and bad things, well, they happen to bad people. It sounds kind of comforting, right? But, and this is a big but, it has a really dark side. It can actually lead us to blame victims for their own misfortune.
I mean, think about it. When we see something awful happen to someone, it's psychologically much easier to find a reason why they must have deserved it than it is to accept that the world can be random, chaotic, and deeply unfair. It's a pretty unsettling thought, but it's a defense mechanism that helps us feel safe from that same randomness.
And finally, we've got the attribution error. This is all about how we judge other people. You know this one. Someone cuts you off in traffic. What's your first thought? It's probably not, oh, maybe they're rushing to the hospital. Nope, it's what a jerk. We jump straight to judging their character, and we completely ignore all the situational factors that might have been at play.
So, you've got these individual biases floating around, but what happens when they all start working together, feeding off each other? Well, that's when they can create this powerful, self-reinforcing cycle. And that's when you can fall into something called the victim mentality trap.
And here is the secret ingredient, the crucial link that ties it all together. It starts with our feelings. When we feel wronged or hurt, our emotions act like these powerful magnets, pulling in only the facts that confirm our sense of injury. Then our biases kick in, weaving those select facts into a perfect story where we are the innocent victim, and someone else, they're the villain.
Let's walk through how this trap gets sprung, step by step. First, something happens. An argument, a project goes south, whatever. Step 2, your biases instantly kick in, filtering what just happened through that self-protective lens. Step 3, the blame gets shifted. It's their fault, the system's fault, anyone's fault but yours. And then, the final, most important piece of the puzzle, step 4, your own role in the whole thing, poof, it just vanishes. The trap is now set. Okay, I know, this all might sound a little bleak, but here's the really good news. Once you can see the trap, you can learn how to disarm it. So now, let's talk about how we can start shifting from a story that's all about blame to one that's actually about growth.
The way out is to basically become a better editor of your own stories. It starts with just questioning that first draft, the one your biased storyteller automatically wrote for you. Start to acknowledge that in most situations, responsibility is almost always shared. Challenge those easy black and white labels like victim and villain. And maybe most importantly, when a situation makes you feel uncomfortable, use that feeling as a trigger, a signal to look inward, not just outward for blame.
Because at the end of the day, it really boils down to this one simple but powerful idea. It is so easy to get stuck focusing only on how someone else's actions made you feel, your reaction. But the real game changer, the moment of true power, comes when you can also look at your own actions and see your part in the story. That shift is where real growth begins. So, we'll leave you with this. We've established it, right? Your mind is a masterful storyteller, a fantastic one, but a biased one. The most important question you can ever ask yourself is this: who's in charge of checking the facts? The answer, of course, has to be you.